In 2006, the magazine Advertising Age wrote the following: "What could be more annoying and less useful than a site where thousands of people are given 140 characters to shout out about what they're doing at every moment of the day. And the amazing thing is that enough people out there think this mindless stream of ephemera, like I'm eating a tangerine, I'm waiting for a plane, I want a Big Mac, is interesting enough to serve as the basis for a viable advertising platform." End quote. And about the same time, still 2006, a comment made on the popular blog about technology, TechCrunch, said, "Twitter is a worthless app for the most self-observed among us. There's no money involved, and it will be extremely hard to insert any sort of advertising. A pay model won't fly either because the mobile networks will just launch an application themselves if Twitter tries that path. Furthermore, most blogs are really boring, especially mine. Twitters are even worse, like I hate a cheese sandwich, yawn, fail." End quote. Well, today Twitter employs 3,000 employees. It has more than 200 million of active users around the world. It generated a revenue of $660 million just in 2013. Twitter shares are exchanged in the New York stock market, and of course, its three founders are billionaires. Not bad for an annoying and worthless app. Some of you know that I'm one of those 200 million users who waste my time of Twitter, according to some. And if you are curious about what I'm saying, you can find me at Rev_Vermette. There's a link on the web page. And as I discover with time, Twitter is more than just a collection and amalgamation of useless opinions. It's also an amazing and powerful tool of communication. You see, just to give you an example, on April 14, 2014, 300 girls were kidnapped in Nigeria, and outside the country, this act was virtually unnoticed. It's only on April 23rd, after a speech of the vice president of the World Bank for Africa, that one man, Ibrahim Abdullahi, add to his message on Twitter the hashtag bring back our girls. And since then, these 4 words have been repeated or retweeted close to 4 million times on personal accounts of common individuals, but also accounts of celebrity like Malala Yousafzai, Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Pope Francis. And 2 months later, the girls are not released yet. But this movement transformed itself into something bigger. It highlighted the horrible condition of millions and millions of girls and young women in some parts of our world, and how some government will do absolutely nothing to protect them unless they are pressured by the international community. One single man raised awareness about this harsh reality more than any network or news agencies around the world. This could be the real power of applications like Twitter. The first disciples did not have access to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or a smartphone. And this might be a given to you, but try to explain this to a 4-year-old boy who's in tech as much as his mother. So you can tell me about it. No. For people back then, social media meant meeting face to face. That was social media for them. And places like the upper room where we find the disciple, and at the beginning of today's reading. And it must have been very comforting for them to be there, especially after Jesus' departure. After all those months of walking across Galilee and Judea, after all the parables Jesus told them, and after all the events of the Holy Week, they had much to process. They probably wonder what they should do next. Well, of course, Jesus told them that the direction of the Spirit was not inward, but it was outward. Oh, yeah. And their old masters surely want them to continue the revolution they set in motion together. But where? And most importantly, with whom? Because numbers don't lie. They were just a small group of men and women. They had no resource, no infrastructure, and they had definitely no backing from the government. Oh no. They were all alone with a huge task ahead of them and a small number to do it. And it was a very scary perspective. So they were waiting for a sign, an act of God, something that could give them direction. Well, they waited for an act of God, and they got an act of God. In less time it took to describe it. There was sound, there was wind, there was fire. It was an event that was completely beyond their capacity to describe or to explain it. It was a transformative event like we experienced just only a few in our own lifetime, like giving birth, like being diagnosed with cancer, like winning the lottery, like being ordained. For the disciple, there was a definite before and after this transformative event. Take Peter, who is famous across the gospel to constantly saying the wrong thing at the wrong moment across the gospel. Well, he becomes a very eloquent speaker in front of everybody, people coming from every nation under heaven. Well, he delivered this powerful speech filled with quotation from the prophet Joel. And as soon as it was done, well, 3,000 people were baptized and joined the movement. A mega church was born that day. No, the disciple met those who were ready to listen to them. And their message was repeated and repeated and repeated, or if you're in technology, retweeted and retweeted and retweeted. A small number of men and women made a difference in this world. Someone once said, and I wish I wrote down that person's name, it would have simplified my life this week. Someone once defined the Spirit of God as a circle whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. The center is everywhere, the circumference is nowhere. I know this is not the most of us don't find this image easy to visualize. So let's try another image. Think of a pebble drop in a quiet lake. Those of us who have thrown pebble in the water know what happened next. A small ring is created around the impact zone. And it grows larger, 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 and larger. You can try to control it, but you won't be able to control it. It's almost have a mind of itself. Well, this is a little like how the Spirit of God works in this world. A very simple thing, a kind word, a smile, a random act of kindness, a small donation can grow larger and larger and larger and have this amazing repercussion. One individual can make a huge difference in this world. And we might like this image, this concept, but let's be honest for a second. Most of us would like somehow to control the process. We would like to choose the precise center where the Spirit of God should begin the work. We would like to pick the official spokesperson that would go out there and to deliver the validated and precise message to the people. We would like to control how the movement goes. We would like to see the definite circumference of the circle, to know who's in and who's out, and to control the rate that it grows and make sure that we control who come in. We would like that. But the Spirit of God won't let us to do that. No, this is not how it works. The Spirit of God is on the move in its own rhythm, at its own pace, continuously pushing us to expand our circle, to expand our boundaries in order to include all in God's love. And today we're facing the same challenges that Jesus' first disciple did 2,000 years ago. We look at everything we are called to do, everything that we have to accomplish, and it scares us. And we look around us at the amount of those of us who are left to do it, and we are often discouraged because numbers do not lie. We wonder if there's enough of us to make a difference in this world, to have an impact in our community, to be able to influence our governments. And some days we're wondering if we're wasting our time here. Is there a future for us, or is it time to turn off the lights? Like the first disciple, we're waiting for a sign, something that would give us direction, a clear answer, something. And there are days like today. Baptism, barbecue, friends and strangers coming together in one single place, eating, playing games. We might not be able to fully explain it and explain why, but somehow we know, we feel it, that the Spirit of God is among us. On days like today, we even learn one thing or two about how God is still speaking and happening in our world. We remember that the Spirit of God is not trapped in the dusty old page of a holy book, but on the move through each and every one of us. So we find the courage. We find the courage and the energy to go out there and to continue to do what we do best, despite the fact that some don't see the point or believe it's annoying or worthless. We continue to go out there to make a difference in the world. We continue to go out there to push the boundaries and to make sure that everyone is welcome inside circle of love. We continue to go out there to speak truthfully and powerfully about our experience, even if most think that our words are just nonsense and a waste of their time. So my friend, let us pick our marbles and throw them in the water. Let us get our smartphone and let's start tweeting about our passion. Let us speak and live our faith, our spirituality, our beliefs, our values, and let us believe that the Spirit of God will continue to be on the move in this world and help us to continue the mission that was set on motion on the day of Pentecost, because we need to believe that what happened 2,000 years ago will continue to happen today, here. Amen.